Greetings and the best of salutations. I just want to say from the outstart that it is really a honor and a privilege um, to be able to um, have life in my body, that I am able to breathe. Yes, straight path, straight path. It is said that the I come to make the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth. Crooked places. That which is crooked, dealing with the pervertedness of language. Perversion, perversion, perversion. It is likened unto how the language may change, but yet the activity stays the same. Let's get this straight, man. You may change a face in a certain position of power, but the behavior stays the same. We tend to get caught up on race, class, gender, religion, economics, politics. We tend to argue over methodology, but the principle stays the same. That is the law of the universe. What goes up must come what? It must come down. What do I mean by that? Let's elaborate something when it comes to the planets. It's evolving. This evolving around and around. The planets have a magnetic force. Will let nothing contaminate it come close to it because it has that magnetic field. Do you think that any people who created a system, which is a way of life, that they will let anything disrupt their way of life? So, if you are seen as a buffer or seem to be responsible with that thinking, that attitude, that way of life, then therefore they will let you get to a point that they know that you will become willing participants and protectors of that way of life, of that system. By the way, the battlegrounds is ideological. in the war of psychology. They know that you're going to protect that ideology. They know that you are unable to reach down in the depths of the bowels of what is called the inner city in the ghetto to reach down and pull them up. That they will topple the corruption and the contamination and the misguidance of a people in a system that will continue to perpetuate and promote one's powerlessness. So, as Dr. King would say, that the ghetto is designed to perpetuate and perpetuate one's powerlessness. And then, therefore, the perpetuation and even the promoting of that powerlessness, people become so contingent upon receiving their demands, receiving their orders or their power from that power that is perpetuating your powerlessness, and therefore there's an intermediary people who's continue to perpetuate the powerlessness of others, and to continue that powerlessness continues to be perpetuated and promoting. Boy, I tell you, people will resist that in their natural inclination, in their natural being. They can see through the superficiality of you. Many have followed your misguidance, your guidance, which has misguided people. We believed in your guidance, which has misguided people. And in that misguidance, you refuse to be responsible. And you, with dealing and placing the burden on responsibility on someone else. And therefore, someone else places their burden of responsibility on someone else. And then therefore, you will find yourself arguing in the midst of a fire, of a burning house, over who's going to bear the burdens, who's going to be responsible for this mishap, this misuse of authority. Oh, as it says, guide us on the straight path. Those whom thou hast bestowed favor on. What is that favor? That those will be in the cause that when it comes to truth, that impacts the results of one's reality. Now, you look at that and how you interpret that, how the way you want to interpret that. People say that they have favor. Huh? So some have more favor than others. Biologically, we have derived on this plane of existence called planet Earth. Therefore, we all have favor. There are those who talk about an exact science. Huh? What is an exact science? Don't try to insult my intelligence or insult the intelligence of people as if you have some esoteric knowledge on things and if you can sell the people cheap. When woman is ovulating at the right time and that sperm cell hits, that's an exact science. The straight path is through the fallopian tube. Huh? Then we come out on this plane of existence. Bam! Another exact science. So what I'm saying to you, that the exact science is the here and now. Bear witness to that, people. Don't be deceived by the eloquence and the charismatic way people talk. What is charismatic? Charismatic really means a gift. And what is a gift? A gift is a present. And what is a present? It is living in the presence. That is the favor that has been granted to us. People know in their right mind that they will resist in their right mind, because the brain cells that is designed, constructed to think right, and the mind at its best is to be productive. So it is in the multiplication. So it says, be fruitful and multiply. That is to be productive, you know. So what is the mind resisting to? We know that the body itself is a chemical. The body itself is a drug. The earth itself has an appetite. We look at animals on people's heads. Represents form of politics. Is nothing but a politics. It is the justification, the institutionalization, and the justification of thievery, banditry, and also murder. What are you murdering? First of all, it is the character, because character is the outgrowth of one's humanity. It is a murdering of humanity. When you insult the intelligence of people, you give them a reality, because perception is not reality, is on its way reality. You're giving them your reality. But when you look at the ghetto and the slums and how people are living, that ain't their reality. That's the reality you're giving to people. So we not be deceived by that. Wake up. Man, I tell you, your manipulating techniques have been exhausted. Yeah, there is the call in the land. Humanity is rising up. The soul of humanity is rising up. It's speaking with such power. Its vision is becoming more clearer because of the evolutionary process. It's becoming mature when it comes to language. Lane. The L-A is the. The gauge in which we are using has matured. Huh? How so? Because vision stems from the source of one's thinking. Those who continue to do wrong continue to do wrong. Let's see who wins on this thing here now. So let's get back to the body as a chemical. When it knows and it becomes an addiction, dealing with this reality, a reality that has been given to the masses of a people by a conjecturer, and a master magician would never let you know his tricks. So he or she tries to escape this reality by way of drugs and anything that we participate in. We don't want to deal with this false reality, this illusion, this trick by a master magician who is losing his grips on the minds of people, whether we know it or not. And those that do know this and see through this, they will blow their horn. So, let's look at the trickery of this here now, and putting people, putting a face in a position of authority because of his or her so-called color. Huh? What does that mean? We're living in a system that is driven by politics. Ethics has nothing to do with the politics. It's nothing at all. So, there is a trick by bringing you in and seeing you as responsible leader, because they see you as responsible for keeping the people deceived, keeping them in check, keeping them at bay. That's your responsibility and that's your duty, and you are happy to do so. La 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 la. Smiling all the time when people are suffering, bojangling your ass, all boot licking, buck dancing. It's very comedic. Nothing. Ringling Brothers and Barnabas Circus couldn't put on a better act. So the psychology is, because the war is psychological. First of all, if the war is psychological, they will bring you in. Because they know you trickers. They know what you like. They know you want to be close to me. Close to this thing here, to what I'm doing. They know that. They'll bring you in. So they study the psychology, and then they study the psychology, then they duplicating that psychology, and they spreading that psychology. Oh, that is a new form of the gospel of called evangelizing. Oh, they're spreading that gospel. They're spreading that foolishness, that wickedness, that deception, that deceit, that chaos and confusion. Oh, lead me on the straight path, those whom you have bestowed favor on. That's the psychology. A king who is in his castle, he don't know what's going on, but he will recruit people and they bring back the report. That's why it says that what they call religion is not of compulsion. Feeding your emotion, feeding in your base desire, feeding your hunger, feeding your drive. Because when you're around certain people who so-called have a position of power, you feel good about yourself. Why can't you feel good about yourself in your nature, in your original being? Because the first sign of deception is circumstances when you reach outside of yourself. Oh, you have to bear witness to that. Only only something or someone, something that is alien, that is foreign, that will misguide, misuse, abuse, deceive, decept, maim, maul, murder, will do something like that, man. And look how it is spelled down or trickled down onto the people. That they become so manipulative. That they become so deceitful. That they become so hostile and don't know how to channel that hostility or overcoming that hostility. So much animosity, so much distrust, so much chaos, so much confusion. Due to corruption. much has politics eliminated corruption, chaos, confusion, and poverty? Let's look at the institutions. How much religion has eliminated chaos, corruption, confusion, and poverty? How much education has done so? What has eliminated poverty, corruption, chaos, and confusion at its best? Is it science? You weigh this in the balance. Einstein says that the same level of consciousness that created the problem won't solve the problem. The same system, the same mentality, the same psychology that created the problem won't solve the problem. So what is the problem? The problem is not the problem, it's the attitude that we have about the problem. So it's the attitude that people have about themselves. But you can understand this now. If you come out a cold environment, and you, as Chica Diop said, the only difference is climate. If you come out a cold environment, man, and you find out, man, that you can make things happen, and you have made things happen, and and you say, hey, I can't go back to that there. Man, that's commendable. You got to give people a check for that. Or if you come out of a warm environment and those things and resources that you did have, you didn't put it in the system. You didn't mean nothing to it. So that means you really you mismanaged really what you had, and you let other people come in, and then they start to manage what you should have managed, that you should have protected, that you should have taken care of. Then they come and they teach you to take care of something that you should have taken care of. And now they are administrating a drug or a dosage to you. They're interjecting that into you and how you're supposed to manage your affairs. If you can't take care of your children, I will take care of them for you. If you can't take care and manage your finances, I will manage them for you. So we have to realize that to some degree there was a mismanagement on the part of a people who had all resources right there, the mineral resources in the land. And they didn't govern it or use it in the best of ways. Didn't put it in the system. But what is the most powerful system is the reproduction system. So therefore we see that which could have transpired is taking advantage of the reproduction system and the misuse of that which is called a woman. And don't think that she will rise up and remember that. And don't think that there is someone behind the scenes who knows that. And they will utilize that to their advantage and further put humanity at odds with one another. Oh man, that's manipulation at its best. So we got to be clear of the strategy of individual attitude or that which is oppressing us, or even oppressing, whatever you want to say, that the strategy, the thinking of a people and the attitude of a people that will put humanity. It's strange to me when people use their mental faculties and their physical abilities to put us at odds with one another. So I say, and I must say, that we must be clear on the strategy in the attitude that people will use their resources to put you at odds, and you take on their sentiments and their feelings and their attitude. What did Hitler do? He says he got the educated Jews, as they call them, to get to the other ones. Then they started accepting. Now, in the so-called black, there's the bourgeois now. They're being used to keep the other so-called blacks in check. Man, you got to see the strategy of these people, man. Man, these are mean folk. But man, I tell you, your manipulating techniques has been exhausted. Your mentality is on its way out the door, and all you're doing is holding on to it as long as you can.